Hello, hello, hello. Um, welcome, welcome. Let's hope our internet holds together. But so far it looks good. In the last couple of hours it looked fine. So yeah, let's hope it works out. Alright. So yesterday, before the stream died, we were looking at the depth buffer because it looks something like that. Which is very... Wait, did I... Oh yeah, I did. It's the old version. Not sure why that was the case. That was some debug stuff that I did. Alright, so... Where is it? Render doc, that's what I wanted. So what it looks like is, if we go here and then capture, it looks broken as hell. Like this. And I'm not quite sure why yet. Oh yeah, yesterday we were looking at this because Capuchman is doing his own render graph, if I remember correctly. We were talking about the layout stuff. So yeah, it's either like 0.9 or 1, and then there's like some broken stuff in, like broken pixels in between, but it's like pretty much not how it should look like. Let's see if we see something here. So that looks fine. That looks fine as well. Depth attachment, clear values. So we want to clear it every frame, that makes sense. And then we have a depth of 1, which is as well correct. Basically we initialize it to white. And I mean, that is maybe a bit weird. But maybe that's shared. Oh my god, please, command buffer, thank you. Yeah, it probably is shared if I would have to guess. Yeah, it's a union, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. So that float shares the spot in the first float here. Okay. And then we have the frame buffer, depth storage, depth. Wait, that looks a bit weird. Why is it VK image layout undefined? Shouldn't that be the depth tensor? Shouldn't it be this? Are we never hitting that? Are we never setting our depth attachment? No, we are not. Ah. Why? Are we continuing here? That's not the depth texture, I think. Oh no, it is. Well, that's a problem. Why is that here even? Why did I think it's smart to not do layout transitions on external stuff? I guess the assumption was that as it's external, it's handled outside. But I think that's garbage. Probably. Let's see what that does. So then we should hit that, right? Hopefully. Okay, yeah. So now we transition our depth format. I thought that this fixes it. I mean, maybe. But why is that not even a validation error? It's, I thought like for the layout stuff you would get validation errors in those cases. But I guess for some reason we don't. Okay, that looks different. Oh, that looks correct. Okay, so it was really just the image layout. But why is that not even a validation? Why did nothing complain about that? That's so bizarre. But okay. So that looks like a correct depth image. Hello, Capuchman. Nice. Well, okay, I mean that was an easy kind of fix. Not sure why now why it would not complain about that in any validation, but okay. I guess it is what it is. That was it, 65,536. That's what I wanted as the far plane. Hello, hello. Let's hope the internet is stable. Oh, and I wanted to move the sphere. Because I don't know why it's even there. Where it is. Let's clear all the shaders. It's easier that way. Until that's maybe like a good thing to fix for. I think so. I'm still working on version 0.4. Plan is for the terrain to be done in 0.4. And then 0.5, as I said already in Cake Stream today to WhatsApp, is planned for Linux probably. Or like probably, yeah, like adding Linux support finally fully. It's only the, I mean only, but it's only the windowing system that is missing and input handling, but the windowing system is like the big part. Input is not that huge, like once you have the windowing. And probably I will squeeze in a couple of fixes here and there for 0.5 as well. One would be, for example, shader reloading. Like fixing that the headers are included as well in the reload. Alright. Perfect. So in that case we should now still have it correct even if the sphere is in front, right? Please tell me yes. That looks decent. Yes, okay. So that's that. Now the only question is why Why is my thing like that weird? Like, for example, it's like, why is that not... Why is that like the way it is, basically, is the question. Shouldn't the position... So here the mouse position should be... Isn't that wrong? Shouldn't it be... When here it's 0, 0. 1, 0. Is that the right coordinates for UVs? I thought Vulkan has top left as 0, 0. Oh yeah, top left is 0, 0. So that's that, right? Is that correct, Vulkan? UV coordinates goes from 0, 0 to 1 left to right. So this. Yes. And the T coordinate goes from 0 top to bottom 1. Okay, so it's that. So in the middle it should be 0, 5, 0, 5. Like somewhere here. But my mouse position was not that. Do we do something with the mouse position in the compute shaders there? No. So that's wrong, isn't it then? Shouldn't that be 0, 0, like 0 0.5, 0 0.5 then? How do I do that without losing the focus? Probably not like that. I think that will not work, right? Yeah. Hello, Captain Chica. Well, actually, that was... I mean, that's 827 divided by 1600. That's almost... Oh my god, I hate why is this in Windows like a thing? Okay. And then we times that by 2 and minus 1. Why? Oh, because we want a frag chord, right? that it? That here we want a clip space position. Which is -1 to 1. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. Fair. I'm wondering, is that minus correct? Well, we can probably find that out. By doing something like that. Okay, what is Vulkan clip space? Is the Vulkan clip space -1 to 1? Do I see this somewhere here? The pipeline state? Maybe? Doesn't look like it. But I think it is -1. Basically. So that position is a float, right? Oh, that's all floats, that's fine, I think. But yeah, that's -1. That looks wrong then, right? Shouldn't this be minus as well? Or is that now inverted and we will have problems? Okay, I mean, it is somewhat inverted. But let's see if, at least if we do that, it's consistent. No, it's still offset. We still have the problem of like the cutoff. So except for the fact that I inverted the control, well, actually I didn't invert the control. It's actually exactly the same. It's pretty much behaving very similar to before. We got a buffer, me no use buffer. But buffers are nice. Where does it say that it discards fragments if it doesn't? Oh, okay, where it does somehow discard fragments. But on the wrong... Oh, I mean, well, not necessarily completely wrong, right? Weird. Wait. Is that correct? Oh yeah, no, that is correct. Gives us the 8-click position. Did I not have yesterday here the conversion to texture chords? Or it's just something like NDC, like UV is NDC position XY. Was it divided by viewport? Or let's see, what is NDC position? XY. Do you mind installing C++ extensions in VS Code so no one has to look at pop-up ever again? What pop-up? What did I miss? And why do we have a problem? Did I miss something? Did I already blend like some? Or am I blending something out in Visual Studio? God damn it. Yes, that is correct. Is that not a thing I am allowed to do and it just suddenly works? I don't want RTTI enabled. Does it need to have RTTI? Doesn't say it. Be sure about that. Then I have to find a different approach, but I don't really need it per se. I just took it as a void pointer replacement. We can do it with a void pointer as well, worst case. No, that's not true. You can run without RTTI. I mean, if we are... But do you get an issue? Because, I mean, again, I'm only compiling the engine, so there might be some hidden errors that I don't get because it doesn't get fully linked, but... so yeah, maybe it doesn't work on Clang. Oh yeah, I wanted to look at the log. Was it just plus? Was it just that it's flow vec 2 UV is NDC position XY times 0.5 plus 0.5? Was it just that? What pop-up? Wait. What pop-up? Am I stupid? You mean from Visual Studio? Did it fix it? I mean, kinda. Alright, but here it's broken. That looks better. That looks like it's working-ish. So the only reason the question is why does it not work here? Oh, it is working. It's just that my mouse needs to be higher up or what? Why is that a thing? What? Ah. Okay. I am confused. Somehow I cannot make it go further away because it just goes up. Eh? Okay, something is off. I think it just looks somewhat better, but it actually is wrong. But I cannot go beyond that point. Which is kind of weird. Because I mean, that shouldn't even be a thing that I have. Like a thing here. But somehow we do. Okay, wait. Okay, that's 1, 1. Wait, but that's -1, -1. That's wrong. Okay, and then that's not correct. So I am told this is correct. But somehow it's not. At least internet is saying this is correct. Oh wait, no, yeah, we are outputting. Oh wait, I'm stupid. So maybe it was correct, never mind, and I just didn't output the wrong I output the wrong thing. Okay, yeah, that's 0, 0, perfect, and then down here it should be close to 1, 1. Ah, it's not. How come? It's not. How come that's off by quite a lot? That might be the offset that I see here. But why? Is it because the whole window is 1600, but we are losing space? That might be it, because it's now pretty close to what the window would be. What I don't get yet is why there is a max distance here. Do I do a max distance? Is that it? Not really. Might be that we hit like that limit here. But even then, that's kind of sus, and I don't think it's the reason. That is as well still weird. It's almost as if something is wrong. Oh, maybe it is. This. I think it's that, right? Yeah, but we are again having the same or a similar issue. Huh. It's just that the issue is... Ah, here it goes further. Or maybe not that much further, but... It's almost as if the height doesn't fit. is a height issue. Why? How does the height play into account here? What? Send herb. Clang CL does work. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have no trust at the Microsoft Clang version. Huh. That's bizarre. Yeah. Hmm. Not quite sure yet what is going on here. My understanding of std_any was that it's just a void pointer, so I'm not sure why you would need... I mean, okay, for the type info, right? But I thought that gets pretty much stripped away at runtime. But maybe I misunderstood any std_any in that case. Might be as well a possibility. Wait, this looks wrong as well. Yeah, but I'm not really using that. But I mean, maybe it gets used when I extract the type out of it. I don't know. Why is this happening? I don't quite understand that. And I don't think RenderDoc will be able to help me in this case. I mean, that's even weirder that it just disappears into thin air here. I'm not like, I don't need to stick to std_any. I'm not that attached to it. I can imagine. Are you trying to build the full project like with the demo project? Not just the engine? Because the engine I think is fine. But again, as I said, it might be that it doesn't link everything. But yeah, that one should run and link without bigger problems. Yeah, but again, it just builds. Yeah, that's what I assumed, that it doesn't work yet. Because then it actually needs to link functions that might be not working, yeah. Well, 0.5 will be fun then, I guess. But first I would want to try to figure out what the hell is going on with my sphere. Because that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So for example, this pixel here gets debug information. Oh god, really? That's fine. Let's take this one. That looks fine. That's the camera position more or less. Then we run forwards. Okay, that's not... Okay, yeah. So then we have a 500 hit, like hit on 500, which makes sense-ish. I mean, more or less makes sense. Zero 29, 029, got it. 0290. Oh wait, we still have it. But it should be 0408. So it reads the wrong depth value? Is that it? Okay, I know. Zero two 94933. And it was... Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. But why? Why is it reading a depth value? Down here somewhere. Eh? Zero 4933. Yeah, that's... Why is that wrong? What's the NDC position? Yeah, not there. Not where it should be. Zero nine nine eight. Yeah, but then yeah, that is not that doesn't work if I read the wrong UV. Well, the question is why would it be the wrong UV? So that 0.00 something. Calculator. Is it correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think. Times 0.5 plus 0.5. Yeah, that's off as well. Hmm. But that one and that one kind of match, right? Yeah, it's basically the same value. Hmm. Was 64444. Yeah, exactly. So that GL frag chord is matching. But the rest is not matching. So the frag chord is correct, but the rest is wrong. The UV is wrong. Isn't maybe it's good enough maybe to... Is that not just the UV already? Let's close all of those. That worked. I fixed it. Beautiful. Just use my brain sometimes. Perfect. Now the only thing that is weird here is like that there is an offset of the mouse, and that's I think just because we have this weird viewport thing. I think as soon as the viewport has the same exact size, I think that offset is gone. That's my current, like, best guess. Oh, maybe not, because the more I zoom out, it goes away. It goes a little bit further away, but yeah, let's see. But I can live with that offset for now. But yeah, that's pretty nice how it looks. And we now have, I'm not sure what happens here. Why it looks like that. Where we have this weird middle line. Not sure what happens here. But I think I will not look at that for now. That's already pretty nice to have it like that. It's maybe something with lighting. Whatever. Alright, so we have that working. Perfect. And now the idea would be, which we don't have yet, but now if I right click, we want to edit and put basically that sphere that we see here exactly at that place. Alright, so let's remove a couple of comments. Especially some of those debug prints that we added. Don't need those anymore. I think this is good enough. We don't need greater equals. So I think that's that. And then here do we have, no, we don't have anything anymore. Perfect. So give it another run. Let's see if that still works nicely. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. And we pretty much have, well, I mean, not infinity, but yeah, I think it just doesn't find a hit anymore at that distance consistently. Because I think I can go out, but it's just that, yeah, I mean, we should have a max distance anyways. Depending on the shape of the brush, basically, or the size of the brush. Alright, so we have that, and then the next thing is... there is something like a conditioner thing. But I'm not sure if there is a conditioner dispatch. I know there is a conditioner rendering, but I'm not sure if there is... That's kind of what I was thinking of. Oh, that's pretty cool actually. So we could write the hit information into that buffer, right? And then based on that, we kick off the preview and we kick off the edit. Or is that just not worth it, maybe? That's the question, right? If it's worth it or not. Is there a VK begin conditional dispatch? Dying inside, it's so bright. I mean, maybe it's just... Maybe... Wait. Where is the sample again? But where is the... Okay, I do get that, but don't we need to... Where is the render pass? Or do they just leave that out in this example? Maybe that happens after the render pass already. Well. I mean, I guess we will still try to do it. Because why not? So we have the hit buffer, and then let's do graphics. Buffer handle as hit. Well, actually we could do it in like one buffer, right? And then this is a size of and the size of. What does the... Can I make it like super tiny? No, they do like 1 in 32. Okay, it needs 132-bit. So what that is you can have a command, well, a buffer, not a command buffer, sorry. You can have a buffer allocated with just 1 int 32 T. Maybe you can have it smaller with another extension, but for now let's assume we have to have an int 32. And then you can begin a conditional rendering block with begin and end. And everything you do here is only done if the integer in that buffer is 1. If it's 0, nothing of this stuff happens on the GPU. So it basically gets rid of draw commands if you want to, for example. And you don't need to redo the command buffer if you suddenly want to render it, because you just have to flip the flag and it will draw in the buffer. Which, now that I think about it, that might be actually quite interesting for debug features, right? We could do the nodes, like the render graph nodes. Yeah, similar to that, yes. But very similar to indirect draw and indirect dispatch, yes. Yeah. Very, very, very similar. I wonder what the reasoning behind that was, because yeah, as you said, you could do exactly the same with the indirect draw. I guess this is a little bit more lightweight than an indirect draw, because an indirect draw needs 4 integers, or like 3, right? You need the mesh vertex count, instance count and whatnot in the VK draw indirect. And this is just 1. Because I think, right, the indirect volume terrain system. Here I have the indirect draw somewhere. Yeah, you need like those 4, right? For an indirect draw. Whereas with the in like a conditional one, you can just do that in theory. And this is just 0 or 1. And I mean, of course, that only works if you don't have indirect commands, right? Otherwise, I guess the indirect is better. Yeah, it really depends on what you dispatch exactly. What you dispatch or what you draw. If you have a vertex buffer that you bind anyways, or a vertex buffer coming from the GPU and stuff like that. So I guess we could do that, and we just do here a size of view and oh god damn it, I can't type. Plus that. And we write well, actually let's do it like that. And we write it at the end. And then here, that would be one of those cases where we then do which Vulkan version is that? Does it say? VK begin conditional rendering. Oh, here it is. That's what I wanted to look at. Vulkan version 1.1. Okay, so it's in forever already. What? So I guess it's not even an extension anymore. Is it still? Maybe not. It might not be begin conditioner. Let's do that. I don't know. And then here we would say hit buffer resource. And the offset is size of vec the 32f. Then here we would say end conditioner. Something like that. Const buffer handle conditioner buffer and U32 offset. Although, is that something we want to do? Because does DirectX have something like that? Not that I would ever like think about DirectX right now, but does that really help? I guess we don't do that. Let's not do that. Let's do something else instead. We still write the hit buffer like that. We do the hit buffer here as hit. And we basically write that out here. Why is that in a debug one? That doesn't make any sense. And we basically write out like that, and then here U and has hit if has, well, yeah, has hit. Then we just discard everything. It's a bit wasteful, but I don't think that there is an easier way to do that. Because I mean, I could, I guess, do an indirect draw. That would be the other option. But I don't really want to do that. It's just an editor feature. I think this is fine. Oh, it's not that actually. It's Where is my hit position? Oh, here. So I think that should work. Let's find out if it does. So that basically should get rid of the sphere if we don't have a hit. Or crash, because I did a mistake in the shader as usual. Ray trace terrain. What? I don't like that. Yeah, so now it disappears if we don't have a hit, and as soon as we get a hit, we have it. Yeah. Alright, so that's that, and then we still need, in this one here, we still need more info. So the question is now, how do we do that? Like the terrain edit. So there's two ways how the terrain edit can work, and I'm not sure which one is the best. So let me draw it out a little bit. So let's make a screenshot and then draw it out. And maybe someone in, like Capuchman or anyone, feel free to jump in and give your opinion. So the thing is, my paint skills will be great. So the problem is, so this is all an SDF function currently, so we don't have any volumetric data actually stored. Which is good, because this is a huge ass terrain, it's like 64 kilometers, so we don't want to store. Have a nice one, Captain Chica. Have a nice one. Thanks for still joining. And hope you have a nice rest of your evening. So, yeah, for storage this is optimal, because we can define like a noise function or whatever to do the whole base terrain setup. But then when we draw with the sphere, there's like two ways we can do it. And I think I prefer one, like the second one that I will explain, but the first one would be that I thought is we just create spheres, like CSG spheres here that are as well here in the hierarchy, that you can move. And when we generate the terrain, we take the entities, merge them into like a SSPO, and when we do the terrain, we read the SSPO with the data for the spheres or whatever CSG shape there is, and process them. That has the nice benefit that you can move the entities nicely here. You can delete entities, so you can do an redo undo very easily. The problem is when you drag your sphere to paint like a hill or something like that, or like not a hill but like a dent, like in a shape, you would end up with like a shit ton of individual spheres, which I think is not really optimal. So the second approach I thought is, when you click, we subdivide the world again, similar to what the octree does. I do that now somehow aligned to the world, right? Because we're looking down, not the axis, but we would do something like that. And well, that didn't work out, but and we would subdivide the world into like, again, like a grid somehow, where we say like each of those is like 64 meters, and in this 64 meter blocks we store the actual dense grid. So this would be a 64 by 64 by 64 grid. It could be as well an octree to save some space. And then we have like, if we only like, and we only store the areas that where we actually painted. So if we just paint in this direction here. Oh god, what did I do? My paint skills are phenomenal. That's not what I wanted. So if we just paint, well, that was great. But if we just paint here like that, let's do it like that, then we only have it here, right? And as soon as we do something like that, where we paint like in between, then we would have another 64 block here. That can get out of hand if you like draw like a shit ton of stuff. But I don't think people will do that necessarily. Yeah, I'm not sure either about that one. Well, what's the best approach for this? But I think this scales better. This scales better, and it's easier to store. The only thing I don't know with that approach is how I do an undo and redo, but that's a future me problem. Because with that approach, what I thought as well is that we could have like here an entity, like a volume override entity that defines such a block, and you could have a custom SDF function in there that just overrides it with a different noise value, for example, like a different noise function to create like. Can you do both? Well, I think the downside of the thing, like with the entities here, is that if you keep drawing, that's like the problem that I see. Like if I keep holding my left mouse button and smearing, or is that no with that? So if I do, oh, well, nice size. How can I change the size of the brush here? Can I not do that? Cool. But yeah, if I do something like that with a sphere, it should create like spheres along the way, but that's a problem. I mean, yeah, that could work, yeah. Yeah. That could be an interesting Yeah, let's write that down. Wherever my to-do list is. Did I close it? I think I closed it. Cool. Well, then this untitled will become it. Brush modes. Or like, yeah, or paint modes. Brush. Single object. Collect, drag, slash, placement brushes, and create 64 meter tree storing the data. At max resolution. And then this one is basically just place individual object in the scene. Cube, etc. I'm just not sure if that scales well, but we will see. We will see about that. The problem I have with that is maybe people misuse it to then create something like the brush, right? No, I mean, it's definitely something to think about. I'm just not sure. Just not sure how to do it correctly without it being misused. It's actually, let me find that video again, because I thought about that individually, even though I will show now a video, and then it's kind of funny because they do exactly the same thing. But I came up with that before seeing that video. Voxel plugin. Can I find that again? Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, exactly. So I imagined it even before I saw this video. I saw this video this week, but where is it? So let me mute the music for a second.
To do anything because it's not going to have
so what this is an Unreal plugin that I recently found. They are actually actually kind of nice. So what they do is they as well create a voxel terrain, and then they have like either read it from, let's change the quality, either read it from a height map, a spline, I don't know what exactly you would do there, but or a graph, and I'm thinking of doing the graph as well. So basically they create noise, like I would do that in my shader graph, right? You would build like a volume shader function that you then plug in the editor as well into the volume component, and then it uses that to create the CSG. So basically what this currently is, we would generate from the shader graph, right? You would add a plane node, you would add a sphere node, and then add a union, and you get out this function, right? That would be the idea. Here he adds a noise, which we have as well.
None of them.
And then he does that, and basically he gets out this plane from that. And yeah, I mean, he does then some height map stuff, which is not that interesting, but basically in the end with noise, he gets something like that. So that was the plan as well. And I'm kind of nice. It's kind of nice that I was not the only one with that stupid idea, it seems like. And it saves like a ton of data because you just have to save that graph, which is like 4 nodes to generate an infinite large terrain, right? But then you want something like that. And that is where basically my brushes come in. They use a mesh, but it's basically a brush. Like, it doesn't matter the shape of the brush, right? In this case, it's a mesh. I want to support that as well. But for now, we only have spheres. But what they do is basically they voxelize the mesh, and then it integrates nicely into the voxel world, and they can drag it around, as you can see. So that's something I'm kind of thinking of to replicate. And this makes sense with this because it's just a single object, right? But I'm not sure about the brushes. He never shows like how they paint on this terrain. So I'm not sure how they do like the painting of terrain. In this tutorial, they never do any of that. I think. I mean, what they do at the end is he kind of carves into it, and then I don't know what actually happens. I think here he does it then. Where is it? Oh yeah, here he creates a big one. And you can see that it's a voxel actor inside the scene. So basically they create an entity and they put it in the scene. So similar to the first approach that I want to do. But then he does something, and this is another one, right? So it's 2 different actors and he merges them together. Oh, that's how they do it. Okay. But that, does that really scale? Okay, I mean, it's still not painting. So I'm still not sure how they do the sculpting. He never shows that. Maybe I should try that out. Maybe I should get that plugin. I think it's for free anyways. But yeah, then he does a subtract here and moves the same mesh inside each other, and then it subtracts. So that's kind of nice. I mean, it says sculpting here, so I do think they have a brush kind of way of doing it. Maybe we look at that tomorrow, actually. Maybe I prepare it and then we try it out. Download this plugin. But yeah, that's basically where I would want to go. Yeah, now I'm curious how they do it with the brushes. Because that works very well with meshes that you put into your terrain, right? To do this kind of thing. Because you will never paint those brushes, like those terrain, like those objects. It's more hand placing. And for that, this works really well. So yeah, maybe we need to support both, as you said. But let's keep that in mind, and tomorrow we try it out. Because I think it's free. I think it's free. Oh, that didn't work out. Pricing. Yeah. Oh, but it doesn't have the voxel graphs. Sad. Alright. Damn, that's expensive. Holy. Is that per year or one time? Oh, it's maybe one time. One time it's okay. I think it's not that extreme if you pay it one time. Then I take it back. It's actually not such a big amount of money. But yeah. Okay, maybe we don't look at that then. Because without the voxel graphs, I'm not that interested in it. But I think at my current work, they are evaluating it currently. So that's how I found out about it, because they're currently looking at, like, they have the free version. And I think someone mentioned that they would buy the full access for a future project. So maybe I can do it there. And sneakily try it out at work. At one of my colleagues' PCs. To see what they do. Because I think that's kind of yeah, the most interesting combination. How do we say that? Yeah, like how they would combine it, the brush and the. It could be that they create an actor actually as well. Similar to what I would do anyways, right? Because this grid, it would be an actor as well that you can move for the brush. So maybe we do that just. Maybe we do that. So I guess the first step, the simplest one, would be just doing single objects, right? Not supporting the brush movement. Like clicking one sphere, clicking another time another sphere, etc, etc. Yeah, let's do that. Gonna add that. And I think then we support basically everything. The brush painting will be a little bit more interesting though. I'm wondering if maybe I can do yeah, no, let's not think about it. Let's add the single spheres first and then do the brush a little bit later. Like the full brush painting like that, basically. But I think we did some good progress today, and I'm a little bit tired already from work. It was quite exhausting today. We fixed the sphere, which is nice. So I think I will call it a day as well today already. And then tomorrow we will be fresh and do the this edit, like clicking, and then we spawn spheres hopefully. And we need to regenerate the octree then, like the full world octree in like that area where we painted. We don't want to generate everything, which would be as well the same step that we do when the camera moves, because currently when the camera moves the octree stays the same, which is not what we want. So we need to do that update as well. But I'm so happy that this works. I am so happy that that fix was done today. Alright. Yeah, it is some good stuff. Slowly but surely we are getting there. And I mean, that's already super promising that we have this huge ass world. I think this is actually, I don't want to say it because there's like so much stuff on the internet, right? But this is, I think, one of the bigger ones that I saw with like voxel terrains. Because usually the videos that I found, they always do like 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers or something like that. This is like 64 kilometers, which is like insane. But yeah. And it's running very, very nicely. So let's see how far we can push it. Oh yeah, maybe actually. I mean, because we still have that, right? Yeah, maybe. That would be nice. I mean, it's always, sometimes you just need some like 10-20 minutes away from the issue and then you suddenly have it. Yeah, it's quite common actually, I would say. I have a couple of colleagues that tell the same thing. Yeah. Alrighty, thank you very much for joining though, to everyone. Really happy with the where we got. Yeah, and then once we have the edit, because of that we will have the reload of the octree, and then I think we are mostly done with it, but I mean it will still take a couple of streams to finish it. Have a nice evening yourself, and I hope I catch some of you tomorrow. Yes. Have a great night. Bye bye.